Plays flat to Campbell. Campbell on the outside and try time to the skipper. Tyler Campbell. Cut pass out to Stowers. Right foot, left foot, try. Reed Stowers in full flight. Inside to Campbell. Tyler Campbell.
Media Vintage Sports Network presents Play-by-Play podcast with Jordan Hughes.
Alrighty, hello and welcome. Play-by-Play Rugby with you for the final time in 2024. It's been a huge year and we have plenty to get through tonight. Jordan Hughes with you alongside Tyler Campbell, Reed Stowers. Gents, we missed last week, but how are we doing? Well?
Good. Yeah, good. Obviously a busy couple of weeks of rugby, so looking forward to getting into that, and last one with our mate.
Yeah, this is a bit of a 47 podcasts together, last one for a little bit. We'll obviously get you via Zoom next year, but a bit different in person. How you been? Just training heaps at the moment?
Yeah, sort of quit my job. Just focusing on next year now. Just been training most days and, yeah, looking forward to being in the best shape I can be to go over there.
Bloody oath. And you got a holiday coming up? You're on the States, ain't you?
Yeah, I've got a bit of an NBA and NFL game to go to, a bit of Disneyland, so
How good.
leave on the 26th, New Year's in Vegas, so can't complain.
Boys are on. Let's get on to it, to the spring tour, obviously done and dusted now. I'll start with New Zealand, boys. Obviously, you being both proud Kiwis. 29-11 last week over Italy, far from convincing, but you're on 10 from 14, first year of Razor. What is your assessment of New Zealand?
Like you can look at the record as 10 and 14, but we've actually played a lot of quality teams. Like we've played England 3 times. We've played South Africa twice. We've played Ireland. We've played France. Like we haven't shied away this year from playing the sort of top 5 teams in the world. And I think, overall it is a good record. And you sort of started to see the back end of the year, the identity of sort of Razor's coaching coming into the All Blacks. And obviously the Italy game wasn't ideal, but we still came away off the win, and if a couple of things go our way against France, we probably get that one too. So promising signs, but obviously not where we want to be yet. So just building to that next World Cup under Razor, and hopefully see a bit more of it next year.
Would you make of it as a pass this season with under Razor?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at what the New Zealand media has said, you wouldn't think that the record is as good as what that is, because even that sort of shocked me. But I think those, like the playmakers in key positions, it just looks a bit frantic at the moment. And I think that just comes with, playing under Razor a bit more. But I think it's safe to say that the All Blacks has sort of lost that identity as a clinical rugby team, that if you make errors against them, they're going to make you pay for it. I think we've sort of headed away from that.
I think the biggest area of concern, or area moving forward that we sort of need to look at, is our breakdown. We saw it against France, we saw a little bit against Ireland, but in particular against Italy, we have been real poor at the breakdown, and it's hurting us because, we like to play that up-tempo, attacking rugby. We get going, and then our breakdown turns to shit. There's a lot of pressure on our halfbacks. There's been a lot of chat around how Paul Cortez played the last couple of games, and then Cam Rogard had a blinder against France, and then he's getting crucified for how he played against Italy. But it comes back down to, it doesn't matter who's your 9. If your breakdown's not clean, then you're kind of going to be under pressure there. And
he was heaps.
Yeah, it's going to sort of affect your whole attack. And I think that's a big area of sort of concern for us at the moment, other than who our actual 10 is moving forward, whether it's DMAC or Bodie. Obviously good debates for both. So interesting to see how New Zealand tidies that up. I think you'll see a lot of work of Super Rugby sides doing it. Like the NZR will put emphasis on Super Rugby sides, making sure they're working on their breakdown. So throughout Super Rugby, when they come out of it, at the end of it, we get a 2-test series against France.
Yeah. And
hopefully we can see some improvement there.
The shining light has been, though, Wallace Atiti. He's been the emerging name.
Unbelievable.
How good, eh?
Oh, I remember as the end of the Super Rugby season was going, at the start of the Super Rugby season, no one had him in that All Black squad, and then after that game against the Hurricanes,
that semi-final,
then everyone was just like, okay, he has to be in there somewhere.
But even when he made it, there was still a lot of controversy around, did he deserve to make it over Hoskins?
Yeah.
And then, people like Hoskins should be there, but every time he's had an opportunity to put on that black jersey, he's just growing as a player, and I think he was well deserving of Breakthrough Player of the Year.
Yep.
And I actually think he might get All Blacks Player of the Year. They got their
season.
3 nominees. I don't even know if it's happened yet, but it was him, Tupou Vai, and it wasn't Artie, it was someone else. But
right, okay. How old is he? Young, isn't he?
He's only 21, 22.
Playing club rugby last year, the same time last year.
What a story, eh?
He's just freak athlete, got great skills, and does the real tight stuff well. Like does the cleaning of cleaning of rucks, the carries into contact when it's not out wide, like when you need a tough carry. He just does that stuff really, really well. So interested to see how he goes. And he's actually, if you've ever seen his interviews, he speaks really well and seems like he's got his head screwed on. So
Nice.
You don't see many players like that, eh? Like with that skill and agility and speed, and then when they come into the close quarters, still be dominating the contact areas. Like that's pretty rare.
And there's a lot of talk around him being a future All Blacks captain. So interesting to see how that plays out. It might be a bit early to make that call, but
It's all headed for him.
yeah. And the other one, speaking of young guys, I thought Peter Lakai in his last 2 games in the black jersey really stepped up to and showed that he can be a, I guess, impact player or a standard player in that black jersey with Sam Cane going. So good to see that, and hopefully we can build on these young guys coming through.
The one last point I want to bring up, obviously we spoke every week, it's the 10. The debate, obviously there's chat already about trying to change the eligibility rule to get Richie back. What do we think? Who's going to be that 10 come France next year?
I think we need to get Richie back.
If Richie's there, it's Richie.
Yeah.
Only thing is guys that come back from Japan, for some reason when they go to South Africa, go back to South Africa, they still play well.
Yeah.
We always seem to get guys back from Japan and they're not at their best. Artie was probably a bit of an exception.
Yeah.
Brody Retallick came back and wasn't sort of as dominant. Still great player, but not the dominant
it's a different
force
game
he was.
over there.
Yeah. But I think Richie, if he does come back, plays his way into that 10 jersey. But if he's not back, I think we've got to go with D-Mac.
You want to keep hitting sticks still?
I just think
You
when he
don't-
came off the bench those last 2 games, he
Reed's
gave us a lot
telling
more.
me someone else.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I think that when he comes off the bench, he looks like real threatening. But
His attack helps us a lot.
Maybe
I
he's
thought
that
Bodie
utility
was
guy.
awful the last 2 games. So
it's hard.
D-Mac got player of the world, number 10 of the world this
Yeah, I
year.
thought that was a bit...
Because if you look at the stats, I can understand it. Like, he gets the most balls back from his kicks. So his kicking game's a lot better than Bodie's. And his goal kicking's a lot better.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just...
It's interesting. Because the thing about Bodie is he's only got a few more years left. He's 33, 34. Like, he's not...
I don't see Bodie at the next World Cup.
Yeah,
No way.
Yeah, so yeah, well that settles the debate then, eh?
Yeah.
Because that's what you're building towards
But
ultimately.
ideally, you need Richie. He's your main man.
100%.
Anyway, so New Zealand done and dusted for 24. Let's talk about their only test match on the weekend. Australia 19, Ireland 22. A nail-biting test match and just falling short at the end. Thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, look, I thought the Wallabies played well.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of talk around the amount of errors that Ireland made. Like, obviously, Ireland weren't as fluid as they normally are, but it was because of the efforts of the Australian defence. They put a lot of pressure on Ireland and made it hard for them to sort of play that. They play a lot of those short passes quite expansively.
Yeah.
And because they were bringing such good line speed and sort of sliding off well, it put a lot of pressure on Ireland and forced those errors. Some were a little bit unforced, but a lot of it was forced pressure from the Australian defence, which I think is promising signs because
The defense has been really good.
they can score points.
Yeah.
Well, we know that, but there was also promising bits of attack too, and I think they're still growing. I think they get a bit too much width sometimes. A few too many balls come out the back when they just need a carry, and they get caught behind the advantage line. That really sort of puts pressure on them. But we saw some good bits. You look at they ran the play off Noah, where he hits Leonard Cattell, loops around the back of Swali. Like that was
Yeah, that
really
was good,
nice.
yeah.
Like we haven't seen that sort of stuff from Aussie in the last couple of years. So I think they're building nicely, and I think there's promising signs. It'll just be interesting to see when everyone's healthy who fits where.
And the forwards too, some good skills around the base of the ruck. And that Taylor Tupou line break, he should have done something else.
Fraser McWright
Yeah.
has played his way into being a top 5-7 in the world.
Yeah, hard.
He's a world-class player now.
It shows you. I wish you played last week against Scotland. Like, he's just unreal.
I think, like you said, this is like promising signs for Australian rugby. I feel like I would like to see what the records are for the other coaches first year in.
Yeah.
I think that Joe Schmidt has done unreal. Like
Yeah.
they've had a tough campaign this year against the teams that they've been versing, and like only a couple games have they really looked like they've got nothing in it. But like I think that the way that they're building, Australia is starting to find its identity, and I think it's like razzle dazzle football a little bit.
100%. It was 13-5 at half time, and Australia's won 85% of their games when they led at half time. And obviously they just fell short. I want to talk about obviously Noah Lawsia, who was unreal off the boot. He's sort of found his way, I reckon.
I think he's your 10 moving forward.
He needed a bounce-back game.
Yeah.
Respectfully, he was very poor against Scotland. I think they fell into the trap of doing too many of those little kicks, in particular for Suoli'i, and that sort of hampered their game a bit. But it shows sort of Joe Schmidt obviously put belief in him. the next week against Ireland, and he performed on the weekend against a team that's not even arguably, they're better than Scotland. And I think if they got that right the week before, we were talking about them winning 3 out of 4 tests on tour.
Yeah, which would have been lovely. You mentioned, let's talk about Joseph Suaalii. We've seen 4 games on the bench is one of them. What are your thoughts so far?
I thought he's been pretty good.
Yeah,
I think he's been solid. He's bringing a bit of X factor.
Yeah.
Obviously,
he's a raw talent. He's
But you're paying a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, like, you want him to he should be standing out.
But he will be in time.
Yeah.
But yeah, where does he fit
That's
moving forward? That's my big question. Linnea Kittel's been outstanding on the last 4 games.
Yep.
I know he's played 12 and 13, but I think they lack a little bit as a genuine 12. Someone who's going to get them over the gain line and get them going from that first phase a bit more. I know they use Valentini off lineouts and Harry Wilson to get that go forward, but sometimes you do need that 12 that's going to get you in behind, especially off scrums, and get your attack flowing a little bit. So whether they sort of get that from Karevi or Hunter when they come back, whether Suaalii moves to the wing, whether he could potentially be a fullback, but it's also hard because Tom Wright's obviously been great on this tour as well. So
I think they might end up moving him into 12.
yeah,
I don't think Karevi and Hunter.
Karevi's done. I don't think he'll.
Nah, Karevi. There's no chance of him playing in the next World Cup. I don't think.
Even the Lions next year. I don't reckon they'll use him if Hunter's fit.
And then Hunter on the world stage isn't as effective, and I think it was sort of the same thing that you saw with Nani Lamape, carving up Super Rugby, and then it goes into that next level of physicality, and they just.
And then he's carving from France when he left, so it's a good example. He's an X factor. He's good in the air, but he didn't play on the wing at all, though, did he? On this trip, he was always
13.
So yeah,
Which is a big ask because it's a hard place to defend.
Oh, 100%. One of the hardest spots on the field, easily.
Yeah.
One thing I did like is he was physical.
Yeah,
Obviously,
a couple of big whacks on the weekend too.
Yeah,
He smoked them, Yeah,
the one against Scotland, obviously a good hit, and sucked to see him get a stinger and go off with it because he was looking good. But obviously the thing that I was worried about was his tackle height. We've seen the big Origin highlight where he got it wrong. So it's good to see him sort of adapt to the tackle laws, and I actually think it's helped his tackling a lot because he's able to get under that ball and put that big shot on. So
he's so physical.
yeah. It's
what we need in the midfield.
Oh, 100%.
Is he worth the 1.6 mil?
So that's
We
the
won't
issue
know.
next year. Like if it comes out of Ikitau and Suaalii, there's going to be that pressure because paying the money, got to start him sort of narrative.
Yeah,
I don't think Joe Smith will have that attitude.
I know, but I hope he doesn't.
I'm sort of with you. Like, you're giving all that money to someone.
Sit on the pine? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Here's the thing, like obviously Ikitau was great. How much better is he going to, not Ikitau, how much better is Joseph going to be after a whole Super Rugby season of playing Union? You got to remember, he was thrown in the deep end. Freak athlete or not, you're getting chucked into international
England
footy
first up.
after not playing one professional game of rugby, a rugby union.
It's actually incredible how well he's been, to be fair.
He's done better than most. Like, Sonny Bill took a while to adapt.
Yeah.
Sam Burgess was a bit
Shocking.
of a miss. Like, he got put into the English side, and they didn't know if he was a 6. They didn't know if he was a 12.
Yeah.
A lot need that sort of time in Super Rugby to work it out. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, I think he was given All Blacks cap half-off name. To be honest, like I don't think he played that well at Super Rugby level. So for him to get straight in that Aussie team and do what he's done, I think's been impressive in itself and shows maybe this is a good investment for Aussie rugby.
So overall, look at the Australian season. I think Joe Schmidt he's brought some respect to Australian rugby once again.
Yeah.
How do you guys view the season overall?
I think if you're comparing it to everything else that we've seen in the last couple of years, I think this is a great success.
Compared to last year,
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. I actually thought they were building nicely under Rennie. And I've said it before on this. The back end of 22, they were riddled with injuries. Like, their injury count was outrageous. They had like 35 players unavailable for selection going into their last games, and they didn't win. All right, and Dave Rennie copped the sort of brunt of that. But before that, they were building nicely. They were putting a lot of pressure on the All Blacks. If you remember, the Bernard Foley incident cost them a win.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So they were actually there or thereabouts and building nicely. And I think last year was a big speed bump on the way of how they were developing. And Joe Smith's come back in and sort of set those standards again and got them sort of heading in the right sort of direction moving forward.
it does build excitement for Super Rugby, I think, Australian success. Like people are sort of...
With the loss of Rebels and those players getting dispersed, I think,
It's going to be good. The Tars should be good. So...
You know what will be a problem?
Mm.
If it is the same. If New Zealand teams are just...
Dominant.
Yeah.
We need to compete.
Yeah, that will
I
be
think Aussie
dramas.
teams will compete next year.
Yeah.
I think dividing the talent, like you look at the Reds lineup next year,
Yeah.
like
Stacked
you adding
as.
Lockie
There's
Anderson.
Wallabies everywhere.
Someone's going to miss out. One of the
Yeah,
Wallaby
yeah.
locks is missing out.
Yeah.
You look at the even the Waratahs, obviously with Rob Leota and stuff coming in. Like there's a lot going on. It's gonna look. It looks good for them moving forward. Taniela Tupou playing down at the Waratahs as well. So, and they've got a good coach.
Yeah, bloody oath. The last thing I want to touch on the Wallabies is the issue Joe Schmidt, because he only signed on to the end of the Lions tour, and that's the issue trying to keep him here because he's obviously he's based in New Zealand. His family's in New Zealand.
Yeah, I think his family's in New Zealand.
So that's our big thing now, trying to re-sign him to the World Cup.
Oh, they are already
Well, they're
trying
to, but he's not sure until after the Lions.
Really?
Yeah, I think he'll hold off. But I think Aussie's got obviously Joe Schmidt moving forward. But who's next in the pipeline? You don't want to go someone way left field. Maybe look at someone that's in that coaching setup that you can develop and push into that head coach role who can sort of keep what they're doing going, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know who is that though.
I don't 100% know.
Who's his assistant?
Okay.
Because he's got obviously Mike Cron, he's getting on now of age. He will.
Is Larkham in there?
I don't think so. No. Jeff Parling's forwards coach.
That's right. Yeah. Or someone who can come in and sort of back end of next year if he's not going to sign on and sort of see the vibe of the team and why they've improved so much. But at the end of the day, we've still got a Lions tour to get through.
Yeah.
Until we see the next 12 months.
Yeah.
Maybe Joe Schmidt has done well so
maybe we're
far.
jumping the gun here. What if
Maybe
you
we're
guys 0-3
jumping-
against the Lions? Yeah. Anyway, so Wallabies, that is their year, ending with a bit of positive for the fans. Let's talk about the Sevens side. Dubai Sevens from the weekend. The Aussie women bounced back from the Olympics, beating your... What are you laughing at?
Positive.
What did I say?
A bit of positivity.
Bit of positive.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Sorry.
It's been a long year. The Aussie Sevens, 28-24 over New Zealand. Hell of a game. Levi, World Player of the Year, 15 tries. Once again, she's
It's a record.
Yep.
Most in a tournament.
Yeah. Untouchable.
OP. Cheat code.
I hate to say it. If she goes down injured, I think that Aussie team would be in trouble.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't get me
wood.
wrong, there's quality players there.
Touch wood.
But
Yeah.
I don't think you can replace what she brings.
No.
Like her impact for that Aussie team is unreal. Like
Well, that
she's
interception. So that won the game
interception,
as well.
obviously won the game. New Zealand were actually over tracking and trying to force her back in to cover D because of just the talent she's been and how much she's sort of developed as she's played on the circuit. Like she's getting better every year because of how young she is. I think by the end of it, if she stays in it, we're probably looking at her as a sevens goat.
Yeah.
Probably could pass Portia. I won't say she'll be the rugby goat overall for women's rugby
Unless
solely
she does
because
and carves up.
yeah,
15s.
Portia's done it on both sides of the ball there. But yeah, she's obviously heading in the right direction, and I just think keep her healthy and keep her in the game is what our Aussie rugby needs to do because I think league will come knocking soon.
I'm sure they already have. I'm sure you watched every minute of this, mate. Dubai Sevens. What have you thought?
Yeah, I watched
On the women's side first.
Oh, women's side. Yeah, they're really good.
Nice. I was going to say, a weird take here. Do you think it's the women's sevens? Like, it's almost, for Maddie, right? It almost seems too easy for her until she plays New Zealand.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I think that's why it's...
Like, somewhat boring to watch?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah, I don't want to be offensive here, but...
No, you have an opinion, mate. What's your take, Tyler?
It's funny because we talk about how it looks like there's a skill gap, but we obviously saw 4 or 5 months ago at the Olympics that
Yeah.
those teams can beat
True.
Aussie.
Yeah, you're right.
So obviously there's potential there, but I just don't think they're doing it consistently yet. And I think it takes a bad day from an Aussie or a New Zealand
Yeah.
or a great day from the
Yeah.
other teams for them to sort of progress in there.
Yeah.
It sort of just looks like they glide their way through. Aussie obviously looked a lot stronger. I think do they have anyone back?
Demi Hayes back from
Demi
ACL.
Hayes was back. There's one. Like they just looked like they had a few players back. Sorry, they just looked like they'd sort of a lot more cohesive than they did at the Olympics after training for a bit, and a few young ones obviously debuting. And on the flip side, New Zealand had a lot of players gone, and you could see in that final, they lacked a little bit of experience.
They feel like they just give it to Georgia Miller and go, do your best sometimes.
Well, that's the thing. You've lost Portia, you've lost Stacey Walker. You've lost Tyler, Nathan Wong.
Yep.
You've lost all the people that have sort of been there the last, I'd say 10 years. They've sort of been in and around that 7 squad. And so they're sort of developing the new ones. Obviously, Georgia Miller put her hand up the last couple of years. Jazz Hotham's been there for a while now. Michaela Blyder. Did she play on the weekend?
I know she did.
Can't remember. But like, they got the young ones coming through, but obviously they don't have the sort of big names that we're used to in New Zealand women's 7 sides.
No.
So be interesting to see how that plays out over this. But I think Aussie are in the good position to take out the sort of world circuit this year.
5 in a row in Dubai for the women, Aussie women. Let's go to the men's side. Fiji over Spain in the final, because Spain beat the Kiwis twice over the weekend, which is good for the comp, I guess.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What's going on with NZ?
I have no idea, but
Hey, let's actually give credit to Spain.
Yeah, facts.
Espanol.
Like, they've never really been around.
Yeah.
For them to beat New Zealand twice, obviously huge. But for them to be in the final,
Yeah, it was
even
19-5.
bigger.
It wasn't a blowout either.
Yeah,
Like,
so be interesting to see. I would not be surprised if we don't even see them in the quarters next week, or maybe they're next week and they drop off again, because we've seen it with teams before.
Sevens.
And they've just had a good tournament and things went their way, but it's good to see sort of those tier 2 nations that you're not familiar with.
Good to see Kenya back.
Rugby sense. Yeah, Kenya.
Yeah, Kenya back.
You see them beat South Africa?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the
I
highlights.
watched that game. That was good, eh?
It's good to see them back then. Why are they not in it? They just dropped
They just
off.
had a bad run, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what
They-
happened.
Because they were, remember like Collins and Jura and all those
Yeah,
guys?
yeah.
back in the
Well,
day?
Collins and Jury, he was like a beast.
He was there like the man. You watched
Top
him.
try
they,
scorer.
Yeah, yeah.
they lost like they just ended up dropping out
Oh,
and they
right.
couldn't re-qualify to get back in. But it's good. Those tier 2 nations coming through obviously grows the game. Obviously, with it being Olympic sport, we're probably going to see a lot more of that as we
Yep.
keep sort of getting more and more, especially the last Olympics. I think Sevens was out there to see a bit more, obviously, with, what's her name, the one I was trying to hook up with Zane?
Alona Ma.
Alona Ma. She obviously grew the game a lot, and more people are getting eyes on. So I think it's going to grow, and we're going to see a lot of those sort of countries with dense populations invest a bit more into their Sevens programs.
Well, the men's seem the opposite of the women. It is very competitive across all the nations, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Anyone can win.
Yeah, which is sick.
Like Argentina dropped off.
Yep.
France
Yeah, they
obviously
have dropped off.
dropped off a bit as well. Fiji looked good.
Yeah.
Fiji were quiet. Obviously, change of coach and going back to sort of more their style of rugby, I think's boosted them a little bit, and we sort of saw that on the weekend. They look really good, so looks like Fiji's back, which is scary.
Thoughts on the Aussies, finally? Obviously,
I watched their game against France, and they absolutely blew that.
That was the...
That was one of their pool matches.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that. I saw
They-
the quarterfinal.
That was shocking. They let France in from like the other end of the field. They score a try. We get the kickoff, kick long, and France drop it. So we start playing, get a penalty advantage. The ref calls back the penalty, go for the quick tap, knocks
I
it on.
saw this.
Straight in.
McGregor, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Young kid?
Henry Palmer
Oh, it was Palmer. Right.
knocks it on straight into McGregor.
Oh.
McGregor's offside.
Oh,
There,
that's
ball,
what it
kick
was.
it out. I was like, oh, that's got to be the worst.
Yeah, they just seem a bit light on. Obviously, Dietrich Roach did his ACL too, which
Well, he is
It's a
like
big loss.
he's their main
he
man.
is like they just give him the ball and
Yeah.
he makes something happen.
That's so bad.
But Sarge as well when he's coming on.
He's kind of the bench.
Yeah,
Is
he
that
is.
as a 7 special? Is that? Well, what's your thoughts on that? Should he be starting or no?
I think he should be.
Yeah, right.
I also
Personally, I would. That
Yeah.
It's hard though, because sometimes we can be slightly biased, and we don't know what's going
Yeah,
on in the
true.
environment. Like someone might, and I've always said this: you sometimes don't know watching the game the little things someone might be doing to be a starter.
especially in sevens.
Especially
Like,
in
you
sevens,
can't
like,
see the communication,
The
and
effort plays, those things. Like you don't see, like it's like Sam Cann, always using the example. You don't watch the little things he does around the breakdown, the physicality he brings at different collisions of contact,
Off the ball stuff.
off the ball stuff. You don't see that stuff watching the game on your TV. You just go like, I didn't see Sam Cane do it. He's quiet today.
Yeah.
Like that's like an example. And the sevens, as he said, would be 10 times more because
Yeah.
you're not seeing the effort plays. You're not seeing the communication. You're not seeing the guy that's sort of getting the reload and making sure the team's all following him. So, be interesting to see how that moves.
How's Patterson though?
Yeah, he is unreal, isn't he?
That
killing
was
it. That try.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Two of them, and then
Yeah.
the same match runs in between two players, bumps them both off, goes the length of the
And
field,
then does the in and away.
and then does the exact same thing again.
He's a
Bumps
big dude, too.
Oh, bro, just puts his head down and trucks through them, goes the whole field.
Weapon. So they head to Cape Town this week for the next stop in the Sevens. All right, boys, let's get into our moments of the year for 2024. It's been a long year across QPR for what we're all involved in. Obviously Super Rugby and then international game. I'll start for you guys locally, Premier Rugby. Moment of the year
Or locally.
for QPR, yeah. Whether it was you personally or a game, a
I
moment.
didn't realise we were doing that.
Mate, did you not check the run sheet?
You said moments of the year. I was just
QPR,
assuming
Super,
one moment.
International.
QPR.
I think North's against us
North's yeah.
at Bond.
North's in
The
general.
one you lost.
Yeah.
North's had a few big wins.
That was good for them, yeah.
I think in club rugby, if you're like just a fan of the Hospital Cup, I think that's something good to see, and not
Okay.
just because like I don't think we played terrible. They just outplayed us. Like they were just better than us.
Not just that. That was the first time in a while I think they'd won all 3 grades.
Yeah.
So they won first, second, and thirds. So obviously it was a big moment for their club. And as I've said on here before, they've grown a lot as a club. There's obviously everyone's sort of right to North's off, but it's good to see the improvement they've had.
I think it was the most successful season ever.
Yeah.
Or, the last decade, anyway.
And then they won the Sevens as well.
Yeah.
So like
Going good.
big ups to North.
I can't think of any big wins we had.
Us as Bond.
UQ one was good at home. That was big on the bus.
We had a-
UQ home one
That
was
was
obviously a good one.
We had a sick loss to Brothers.
Yeah, that's the one that if we'd won that
Yeah,
game, that
that's-
would have easily been moment of the year. But
100%.
that was probably I would give that game of the
It
year.
was on Ladies' Day too. It was all scripted for us.
But like
that's not good.
even our one against Jeeps,
Yep,
the draw that was
Yeah.
probably
up there.
up there. That was close to a game of the year contender too. We're good for putting on a show. It's just not winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, entertaining footy.
Entertaining
If you want
footy.
entertaining footy, come
Oh,
down
yeah.
come down and watch
Right.
Bond. But if you want to be a fan, don't be a fan of Bond.
Yeah, it's tough. See the QPR draw come out and then caught your eye there?
I'm gonna be honest. I
Haven't seen it?
Look at it.
Did you do the video
Yeah.
for
oh,
Bond?
Yeah, yeah.
I like that.
was
That was crack up. That
It's one of
was
your better
crack up.
ones.
Yeah.
But you talk about being a content guy. It was about time.
Oh, mate, fucking shut the All right. Yeah, I thought I put something together. It was funny.
No, that was gun.
I'm trying to get like a bit of banter going between the clubs.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, I think that will grow the game as well.
I
Like
agree.
people watch that shit, think it's funny, and they'll tune in.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. International moment.
I'm gonna start with Dupont
Yeah.
and just what he did for France with the Olympics. That is unbelievable. And I know before, like we went into it, we were thinking, is he gonna be able to do it? You all right over there, buddy?
But he's dying.
No, I'm right. Yeah, you got 7th player of the year as well.
Sevens player of the year.
Yeah, he didn't deserve that.
You don't think so?
I love him. Love him as a player. You can't tell me a guy that played 3 tournaments because the Olympics doesn't count. Olympics
Oh.
has nothing to do with IRB.
Yeah, he put
World
like 7
Rugby.
games total.
Like he
I
only
didn't know
played
that.
2-3 tournaments out of like 8 or 9 or whatever it was.
It's a kick in the guts for the whole comp.
I just think that the Argentina was so dominant for most of the season, and I thought, what's a guy from their team that's unreal?
13.
Yeah,
Small fellow tattoos.
he's gone.
Yo.
Like I thought someone from RG should have got it because they were sort of dominant for most of the year. I just think there was a what do you call it, publicity sort of thing. Like let's pick the guy that's getting the most attention to our game.
But I think if you're talking about the best player in the world, you're gonna have to go with someone who's come into a nation that wasn't doing well at all before he was in there. Like, did they make any finals in any of the competitions?
Don't get me wrong, his whole impact was
Yeah,
unreal.
yeah.
But
They won it with him.
would you?
No, but before he was in there,
No, shit house.
they weren't making any finals in any comps, were they?
I think
Like
so.
in any tournament.
So remember, club rugby international, like everything counts towards it for sevens.
For sevens.
Same as the 15s player of the year.
I didn't know that.
So it's sort of like how can you only play a few? It'd be like if Mwanga came back and played the last 4 games for the All Blacks, got 4 man in the matches. Could you give him World Rugby Player of the Year, even though he missed most of the international season?
I think you can't.
I just think that's not sort of.
Performing the best on the highest stage is not the best player in the world.
It's a good debate.
Nah, it's a year award. It's not a 3-game award.
All right.
So your moment was
That's my thing.
just Anton DuPont killing it
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
You?
Internationally, I think Fiji a couple of weeks ago, getting the first win in Cardiff. Just seeing the
Oh, yeah.
emotion and everything behind it.
Actually, you know what? That really fucked me over that game.
Oh, I did.
Oh no.
Everyone- It ruined Rian's multi.
You're
And I told him the night
Yeah,
before I
yeah.
wouldn't have backed Wales.
Oh my goodness! I woke up in the morning and someone woke
you
me.
tip Wales.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that Fiji had like all Tuisova, Radradra, and
He
all
also didn't know that Wales were on a 9-game losing streak.
I just went with the favourites.
He replied with a massive fuck you, thinking I jinxed him.
There you go.
But no, I just thought the emotion, like seeing how they celebrated after that win, and we know how emotional they sort of get and how much they love their rugby. But for internationally, I thought that was a massive win.
Yeah, I like it. Mine was the Aussie-New Zealand Aussie comeback game at Sydney. Saturday Arvo footy. Obviously, we didn't win, but it was a good spectacle. Exciting to watch. I was actually excited to watch that test match for the Wallabies. Then Super Rugby boys.
I'm going to go Kini Naholo's try.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
anyone remember it? Broke about
Bounced off all these guys, yeah.
8 tackles.
Who was it against?
I want to say it was...
It was a New Zealand team, wasn't it?
It was a New Zealand team. I want to say it's the Chiefs.
Mm.
Is it?
I know he did one against Naki recently. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, I know the Naki one. Let me...
But he
pull
was
it up.
gone.
On that note, mine would probably be the semi-final.
Oh,
much-
nice.
The
Nice,
Chiefs Canes
buddy,
one, obviously
nice.
personally, but I actually think Moana, their big win in the Reds against the Reds
Yep.
at Northland,
Yep.
in the pouring rain, that was a big win for them. So I thought that was another one that sort of was a good moment this year.
It was against the Blues.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So the best team in the comp, and he broke about 8
Carved
tackles. Yeah.
I went Reds and Blues. Timmy Ryan, 3 tries.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
sick to watch.
Another one we sort of forgot and could push it was the Waratahs win over the Crusaders.
Early on.
Yeah,
The
early in
one
the
that
season.
went to. Did they want beat them twice?
Actually, there were
The
heaps.
one
Yeah.
that went to Golden Point and Will Harrison.
Oh,
He'd just come back from his injury,
Yeah.
kicks the
that was
penalty
sick
to
too.
tie, and then hits the drop goal to win it.
Fiji
Sorry, that
over,
just come into my mind real late.
Fiji over Tars.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah.
Like there's some
Fiji-
big
pretty much
games.
every game
The
Fiji
drop
in
goal
Fiji.
from standing square.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah. Every game in Fiji.
Was-
I think that is like that's gonna bring fans to the game. Just watching Fiji play in Fiji.
It's unreal. Nice, boys. That's good. Thanks for your research.
Yeah, all good.
All right, that's pretty much all I've got for rugby-wise. If we go around the grounds on some other stuff, I want to start with my main man here, Ohio State, mate. What's going on, brother? Do you want to talk about it or not?
Terrible loss. Ryan Day, if we don't win a natty this year, is out.
Do you reckon? Do you reckon they'll flick him?
Gone.
Really?
If they don't win the national, like
Hectic.
you can't keep losing to Michigan. We should have thumped them.
Yeah.
Obviously the whole flag dilemma after it and going around all the
Yeah,
grounds.
what's your
is
take on that?
Yeah, what
The planting of the flag.
If I was playing in a team and I was at my home ground
And they did that, I'd
they
be-
did
You'd be
that,
the
I'll
guy.
fucking
You
run
can
over
see why
there
the
as well.
farts. The
Yeah, if
fights
brothers
are
try to
happening.
put a flag,
The fight.
Yeah, if someone from Brothers was down at Bond and after they beat us tried to stick a flag in the
On
middle,
your home
It'd be
soil.
I'll fucking smack him with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but we're in trouble. It sucks we're not playing for our conference, Big
Yeah,
Ten.
Penn State in there now.
Considering Penn State has played like 1 or 2 ranked teams, let alone we've played Oregon in the top 10, we've played Penn State in the top 10, we've played Indiana that were in the top 10. Like we've had a lot harder of a schedule.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
good
you-
to see Penn State probably get 50 put on them.
I hope so. The road was still there for you though. You should still make the
Oh,
12.
we'll be in the 12. If we don't make the 12, it's ridiculous.
No, you will. Speaking of tough being a fan, Chicago Bears, my man.
Bruv.
Lost 6 in a row, and
Yeah.
Hail Mary. You had obviously
Um,
the weekend.
They're tanking. They want another draft pick.
Do you reckon?
No, but they're just.
Fucking might as well now though.
Are you happy to sack your?
Fucking oath.
That was
Every-
a bad call.
What was going on? Can you?
Oh,
How do
I
you
have
not call in
no
the timeout?
idea. What? Whose fault is that though?
It's his, isn't it?
Well, can't Caleb
well,
Williams
the-
call it on the field?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, but a rookie quarterback should never be in charge of making that call. Like, yeah, he called
That
an
was
audible.
so fucking dumb. And you're listening to the commentators, and they're like, "Oh no, he's taking away. Oh fuck,
And then you
it.
see
what are they doing
His
here?"
face is like froze. It's like, what is going on?
Hey, credit to him though. He broke a rookie record, and he's actually gotten better as the year's gone.
Oh fucking oath, he's gone so much better.
Like the potential's there.
Oh, 100%.
Like if they can get a couple of sort of O-line signings in the off season or a
And
good draft
and a
pick,
good coach.
yeah, that would help too. But that will sort of help that team sort of build, and maybe Rian can be a bit more positive about his Bears.
I've been sharing everything still.
Yeah, I know.
Like this is fucked. I shared when he got fired. Put it on my Instagram
That's
story.
hilarious. Are you a real
Load
fan?
of bolt.
It's good.
On
Yeah,
the NFL theme, who's your MVP this year?
Oh, that's a good debate, isn't it?
Barkley.
Josh
nah.
Allen?
It's
Yeah,
Josh
it
Allen
is
and
Josh
Barkley.
Allen, yeah.
I
No.
think it's those two.
Well, who? Who'd you say?
Josh Allen or Barkley.
Oh,
Barkley
how
won't
good-
get
how
it.
good is he?
He won't get it,
That's what I
though.
hate,
It's a QB
though.
award, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. It's a
But,
QB
like,
award.
Barkley is, if he breaks the rushing record, he deserves it. And I think he's going to. Like, he had another big game on the weekend. I think in his last games, he only has to average like 80 yards. He's been cleaning up over 100 every game.
Yeah.
Josh Allen has had better seasons and not got it, that one that Patrick Mahomes got?
Yeah.
Was that 20...
The thing Josh Allen's got on his side in terms of storylines is he lost all his receivers.
Yeah, the whole new team.
Everyone wrote them off, and they've been unreal.
How good was last night the snow game?
How good was that
So-
touchdown?
yeah.
The Murray Cooper just going, here, have it.
Yeah.
And he runs in.
How's the Browns?
Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
He just cuts a promo every time he speaks.
I just
it.
love
I
watching
love
him,
it.
yeah.
He's got a career in WWE when he's done.
Even that snow
The
game.
Steelers game was
Oh
sick.
my
Yeah.
goodness.
He's just like cutting promos
Yeah,
before and after.
How's he had the most James Winston game today?
Today, do you see his quote after? He's like,
I pray for the Lord.
yeah, sort of throwing pick sixes.
What is he? What was his words exactly?
He's so
Oh my
funny,
goodness.
man.
Deliver me. I pray for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
But even did you see his pre-game speech as well?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's the best.
Yeah, I'm watching like Myles Garrett to see if like the players actually like respect him or if they just like just let him do what he
They hit it
does.
with the
Yeah. They're all doing the yeah.
Anything's better than what they had of Watson, surely.
fuck. What a waste of money he
He's
was.
a terrible human as well. Double whammy.
Mate, we're actually talking about the Bears. How about my Bengals? We
Yeah.
can't win a fucking
I
game.
thought they were going
to
to win the
save
weekend.
ourselves.
I thought they were going to.
It's so
Mate,
random.
every week
Yeah.
we've lost 7 games by less than one possession. Our defense is awful. The only good thing from it is we'll probably get a couple of draft picks so we can get some defenders in. But then we're probably going to lose T. Higgins. I don't think we'll be able to keep him at the end of the year.
Yeah. Is Jamar Chase re-signed yet?
Yep.
Because they got him.
Oh,
'Cause
maybe
that,
not.
that was all the whole.
They won't
He
let him
wants
go.
$1 more than Jetters. That's the problem.
Really?
Yeah, it's literally wants like $1 more than
He
Jetters.
just wants to be the highest paid.
Well, because they're obviously him, Burrow, and they're all good mates from their LSU days. So he just wants to be slightly paid more than Jetters.
Classic.
Be like, yeah, I get paid more than you.
Anything else on NFL or college before I move on? The Ducks, mate, we're looking good.
They are looking
We're
good.
looking good, brother.
Who have you haven't played anyone real good recently, though, have you?
We played you,
That's what I mean. That was your last game.
Washington on the weekend. No, oh no. I was going to say we played USC. No, we didn't. Notre Dame.
What else has happened in the sporting world?
Jordan,
I was going to say Jordy Bataya
Oh,
today.
yeah.
Thoughts on that?
Kinda
obviously-
knew.
We knew it was going to happen, but it's officially announced now. NFL Pathway Program.
I know. I hope he does it. but I
Where's he
don't
going to
see
play?
it.
my thought is if he can learn to catch his receiver.
Yeah, that's what I was
I think
thinking.
he's not. He's too tall to be a running back. Unless you're big like that, but Derrick Henry size,
Yeah.
that's the difference. We see it with Reece Zammit. Like they've tried to make him a running back, and I think he would have been better as a deep threat receiver. But like I just don't think you can train Jordy Pataya in the next 6 months to be that
How's
good
Jordy's
of a catcher.
speed too? Is he so
Yeah, I
quick?
don't
Like,
think-
he's pretty.
He's
big.
quick, but he's not.
Is the NFL quick though?
No,
Yeah.
fuck no.
That's
no.
what I'm saying.
Like some guys aren't NFL. Like you talk about NFL, quick. Like he could be a Mike Evans build.
Yeah.
But you need to have safe hands, like with his like height and his
Safest
sort of
hands.
think of his athletic ability in the air and things like that. Like he has the potential to be, as I think, a receiver.
Yeah, right.
And think about
Big
how
small for a
safe
tight
Geordie's
end.
hands were this year. Not very.
It's harder too. Like the ball. Oh, he got the gloves though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you reckon it's going to be? Are you optimistic or not really?
I hope he does.
Yeah, I hope
We're
he
going to back
does.
the
We
guy.
can't.
Yeah.
Like we can't not be optimistic because
You don't know.
I don't actually know how much opportunity they get. You look at Christian Wade, Jared Hayne.
Yeah.
I think Hayne got a bit of an opportunity, but it's pretty hard to get a foot in the door
hard, yeah.
when you're behind guys that have done it their whole life. They have the college mixtape and
Yep.
have the hype around them.
Very
Like,
tough.
If you put
And the
him
way
in-
they train as well, like American athletes,
Beast.
they train to be athletes, not just to be NFL players.
if we were looking at it this year, like I can't think of what receiver do you reckon will go highest out of the draft?
I don't even know who's.
Yeah, I
finished up
can't
this
even
year.
think.
Travis Hunter?
Well, he's
Yeah,
done-
Travis Hunter's a bit of both,
He's
but he's
both
not one of the
sides.
top receivers. He's just good at both sides of the ball. But that's what I mean. Like
Aston
you put
Shenty?
running back.
Running back.
If you
He's
put
beast, eh?
yeah, he's
good.
I don't know anything about college except those two.
Mate, you have to
names.
get. You have to learn this stuff when you go over
You
there.
look at it
Nah, I
this
don't
year.
even like watching it.
Mate, it's good.
They had like the D lines
You can go watch it.
compared to the NFL. They look like little.
Well, they are. They're
Yeah.
18-year-old kids.
Yeah,
That's the thing. If you're looking at this draft and you had Marvin Harrison Jr. or Malik Neighbors in your room, and then you had Jordy Pataya, like which? Okay,
Yeah.
I know what that guy can kind of do. This guy is a bit of a. yeah, he's a freak athlete, but I haven't seen him play a game, and he's not really going to get the opportunity to play a game unless they play him in the preseason. So it's a tough ask, but I hope he does well.
Yeah, we'll see. Another news I saw, Fatty Vorton retired from broadcasting. It was a big part of my childhood, watching the footy show every Thursday night after training.
They never should go to.
Do you guys ever watch that growing up? Was that your?
Yeah. Watching.
Fuck, he was hilarious. Those the glory days.
Oh, yeah. Well, that footy show I reckon was
Back in
second to none. Eh?
Yeah, it was
that was
Matty
the
Johns
best thing
was
on
there.
TV.
Matty
This one
Johns,
was at prime.
Chief, Sterlo.
Bonos.
Bono.
See, early Bonos was good, then it went south.
Shane Shackleton when he was doing the fui.
Oh yeah.
Those were the best.
Yeah.
The G-Train.
Yeah, Benji Marshall imitation.
Yeah.
But 33 years in the broadcasting world for Fatty, so he's
Definitely enjoys his retirement.
it's just different now. Those shows will never come back.
Oh no, it'll never
The
ever
world's
be
so
as
fucking-
good as that.
It's more podcast sort of vibes now. Like even look
Yeah.
at the Matty John show. Like they still have skits and that, but they sort of sit around like we are now and sort of just yap.
Yeah, which is good. Other news, I saw Laurie Daly, Blues coach,
Fucking
kind of rogue.
Let's just go back to
Don't
what
like that.
doesn't work.
Sort of,
Don't like that.
sort of
I
two
seen
steps
it and
back.
just shook my head.
Don't like
Is
that.
that the best
at
you
all.
got? Like it's just.
Oh fuck.
Um,
Not a fan.
Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got, boys. Any summer plans? When do you leave for state?
26. So a couple of days at Disneyland.
Yep.
Then we're going to a Lakers Cavs game, and if LeBron doesn't play, I'll cry. You don't want to go all the way there not to see LeBron.
Yeah, sure.
Then I think we're going to go to Chargers Cardinals.
Oh, you
So get to see my boy Marvin Harrison.
Oh, cool. I thought you said a game was going to line up. That's good.
No, college game isn't going to line
Oh,
up.
right. Yeah,
Um,
sick. That'd be good.
Because I don't think
Get some content for us.
UCLA or
Well, what stadium? Are you in LA?
LA.
Yeah, right. At SoFi.
yeah. So hopefully get to SoFi Stadium and then fly over to Vegas on the 30th for New Year's.
Fuck, how good.
We might go to 50 Cent on the 30th in Vegas. He's actually playing 30th and 31st, but I was like 31st we can actually just turn up wherever we want and it'll be a party. So
That's good.
maybe 30th at 50 Cent. Murder you, man.
Lads be on.
That's crazy.
You, mate? Anyone want to tell the people this will be your last sort of in-person pod for a while?
No, not really.
Get rid of this totem block.
Oh yeah.
Our
You don't
first,
have to worry about it anymore, mate.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to worry about it.
our first live studio audience today too in the show. Shout out.
Want to come say hello? No.
Come say hello.
This is gonna do it. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, I'll close out, boys. Happy?
Yeah, good.
Happy.
That's us for
Good
24.
luck to our man on the left.
Yeah, bloody oath. Yeah, thank you for all your contributions.
We
this
need
year,
to
mate.
we need to
It's
give
been
him a
good.
little bit of a try celebration to get
Yeah,
the
you
podcast.
need
going.
a little celebration for the potty or something.
Celebration for the potty.
So get creative about that over the off
Oh, I've had a try celebration all year, and every time I score, I forget to do it.
What was the one again? I remember talking about it. Oh, the anime? No.
Yeah, it was anime.
Yeah, yeah.
Hit and miss. But every time I score, I forget to do it.
Right, maybe over there. Lovely. All right. Of course, thank you everyone who's tuned in with 47 episodes since the World Cup last year. It's been a fun journey with the lads. We'll be back bigger and better in 2025. Me and Tyler will start things rolling come mid-Feb. We'll might get some rolling hosts in here as well. We'll get some new guests. We'll get you on the big screen.
Yeah, fucking nice.
And away we go. All right, boys. Have a good Christmas, and we'll see you in 2025.